You're listening to Simwaton from bizsupportonline.net. In this InfoPath video, you'll learn how to enable and apply versioning on InfoPath forms that are stored in a SharePoint 2010 form library. Here I'm in SharePoint 2010, where I've already published an InfoPath form template to this versioning lib form library. I'll briefly show you how you can set up versioning in SharePoint and on a form library and how it works when you create InfoPath forms. But I must say that versioning is not a InfoPath specific thing. If you want to know more about versioning in SharePoint, you need to read about the basics of SharePoint. So the way you would go about setting up versioning on a SharePoint form library is you go to the library settings page. And then here under general settings, you click on versioning settings. And then here on the versioning settings page, you can enable versioning. So currently there is no versioning enabled on this SharePoint form library. So I'll keep things simple and just select this create major versions. You can also select to create major and minor versions. And then I'll click OK. So now that versioning has been turned on this SharePoint form library, all I have to do is start adding forms. So I'll add a form. And I'll just enter a username here and save the form back to the SharePoint form library. Close the form. And then if I go to the version history of this InfoPath form, you'll see that a version 1.0 has been created for the InfoPath form. Now if I go and edit this InfoPath form, and I'll enter an email address here of the user, and then save the InfoPath form back to the SharePoint form library and close it. And then again go to the version history of the InfoPath form. Now you'll see that a version 2.0 has been created for the InfoPath form. And it's telling me here that the email address was changed to johndoe@bizsupportonline.net. If I wanted to go back to my first version, which is this 1.0, all I have to do is click restore here. And then when I restore it, you'll see that the version 3.0 will be created. And again, it's telling me now that the email address has been set to an empty string, which was how I saved the form the first time. So if I open the InfoPath form now, we should see that the email address field is empty, and we do. So that is quickly how versioning works in SharePoint 2010 on a SharePoint form library and InfoPath forms.